like and subscribe. And of course, if you agree with my message, then I would like for you to share it with others. Have you ever asked yourself, if Jews are God's chosen people, what did God choose them for? If you choose a person, what is your purpose of choosing them? It would have to be a job that you want them to do. Jews by blood, God's chosen people, purpose was to civilize the rest of humanity, to civilize those human beings who left Africa too soon. It was to civilize and bring them back home to the knowledge and wisdom of God. That was their purpose, the purpose of the Jews. And it is still the purpose of Jews. Nothing has changed. Understand this. To the 12th century and 13th century AD, Jews literally ran the world. We educated the world. We lost control of the world during the 13th and 14th centuries. That's why even in Asia, you have Black Asians. People of color ruled the world, including England. And the Aztecs were black. Understand this. Moses did not just give the Ten Commandments to Jews. He gave it to all of the world. Yahuwah, Jesus, also taught to follow the 10 Commandments. Understand this. If people followed the 10 Commandments, there would be no wars. However, the Romans and the Greeks abused and misused the spiritual teachings of the Jews. And from it, they created Christianity. And Jews by blood was turned into, the teachings of Jews was turned into a religion called Judaism by Caucasians from the Caucasus Mountains. And these people are the Ukrainians and the Israelis that we see today. Understand this. The Sabbath is not just for Jews. The Sabbath is a day of rest for all of humanity, whether you be melanated or whether you are a Caucasian. The Sabbath should be Saturday, and it is for all of humanity. God is not a racist. That doesn't even make sense. If God only wanted one shade of people, there would be one shade of people. But let's understand something about racism. It does not exist. If we go back into history, we understand that racism does not exist. Why? The English fought the Spanish. The English fought the French. The French fought the Spanish. They all fought each other. And if we go back deeper, then we have the Greeks fighting the Persians. And the Greeks fought each other. Racism is nothing but a creation of the oligarchs to keep people divided and fighting each other. And if you notice in Africa, where you have the 12 tribes, there were no wars. There were no wars. There was no slavery. And people who tell you there were, they are lying to justify themselves having slaves. In Kemet, the workers who built the pyramids, they were paid. But understand this, think. If a group of people are God's chosen people, you must first ask yourself, what were they chosen to do? It could only be to sensibly, it could only be to educate. It would not be to dominate. It would not be to dominate. It would be to educate. But the teachings of Moses, of Yahuwah, of Abraham have been used to dominate people. And the Vatican is guilty of that, along with greed, as well as homosexual and pedophile behaviors, and protecting those people who do such things. And the Israelis are also guilty of this. You see, it was the Judeo-Christians that went around the world enslaving and colonizing. The Vatican is rich. And what does the Bible say? A rich man has as much chance of entering the kingdom of heaven as a camel has of passing through the eye of a needle. But the funny thing is that knowing this, the people who control the narrative, they will show you a barn door and say that this is the needle, the eye of the needle that Yahuwah was talking about. And further proof that racism is just a tool of the oligarchs to divide is because the United States is considered a what? A Christian nation. But if the United States is a Christian nation, why was it developed using genocide? Why was it built using slavery? The oligarchs did this for the purpose of greed. And if Caucasian Americans, if you think that racism exists, then why are you losing your property? Why is it being taken from you? You see, oligarchs give and oligarch taketh away. And if they truly loved you, why wouldn't the United States have national health care like all other industrialized nations? You see, Caucasians, you have been played against each other. Ronald Reagan used farmers to defeat unions. And unions protected people who lived in urban areas. Then after Ronald Reagan did this, he cut the tax to the rich from the 75% to 30-something%. And then the oligarchs taught you, because of Bacon's rebellion, the oligarchs taught you to hate people, melanated people. But understand this. The Irish, you were the first slaves, and you were looked down upon, and you know it. But the whole purpose of this video is to let you know that we are all creations of God. And we are all chosen people of God. If we weren't all chosen, we would not all be here. A certain particular group within the chosen have been designed to help to educate the rest of humanity. Now, the key to this is whether or not Caucasians have picked up on the psychological damage that has been done to them by those who wanted to profit off of the lives of others. I need you to think. Throw away everything that you think you know. Bury your emotions and think with your mind. Begin to reason. The United States is $37 trillion in debt. Have you benefited from it? Know your history. And I will say, and I will leave you with this. Knowledge begins with morals. If you have no morals, you have no knowledge. You must have morals to have knowledge. Hence, you have morality. You have morality, which means you have morals. Morals are the keys to knowledge. Morals are confined within the 10 Commandments. Words have meaning. Morality means to have morals. Like, subscribe. I'll pray for you. You pray for me. God bless us all. I'll talk to you later.